should be. Oh, come on. There we go. There we go. Okay. We are back, and we're gonna do a little bit of a hot take. I was gonna save this up for tomorrow's stream, but being that it's kind of late, and well, or actually, we kind of want to just get this over with now because we kind of do have a little bit of an opinion, don't we, Dustin, about Game Awards this year. Okay, let's talk about like one category. I think it really needs revamped, and I think I've conferred with you about this, was the action category. It sorely needs revamped horribly in this category. Like, don't you think?
Remind me what the nominees are.
The
Try not to die
nominees
from
are
Albonurix.
okay. Black Myth Wukong, Black Ops
That one's gonna
6,
win.
Black Ops
Oh,
6,
I died.
Helldivers, Stellar Blade, and Space Marine 2.
I think Space Marine and Stellar Blade did deserve the noms, so I'm glad they're there.
Stellar Blade, I would agree with. Black Myth Wukong, I could probably see why it got in there. I think, like, Black Ops 2 should not be in this category. 100.
6.
Well, Black Ops, yeah, Black Ops 6, yeah, should never be in this category. I
Well, it could either be they didn't have very many options, or it is surprisingly solid.
I really hate that the fact that this is in here is just kind of like there's other like others that could be in this category. Like,
Yeah, like what?
oh, let's see, like, and I know we could be in the RPG list, but where's like Persona 3 or at least
That doesn't work for action.
Well, or at least maybe Silent Hill 2, maybe. It's in action adventure, yes.
Yeah, that's why. Like, action has to be pure action.
But like, well, here's the thing about like free 80s are like multiplayer games though, like and straight up shooters. And Call of Duty is about the worst offender here on this list. They always seem to make it in this list. Like, I don't know if it's whether like Activision's got like a hold on this firmly or if it really deserves its spot. Like, I really haven't heard any reviews that much for Black Ops 6. Have you?
I've seen some positivity.
I haven't really voted on this category because I feel like it. There's some elements that should just be addressed, like Stellar Blade and Wukong should be in this category. They do deserve their nominations, at least, in my opinion.
I
I
think
don't
I
know about.
voted for Stellar Blade because
That's what I would think that should win,
it's not
but
going to win,
oh
but
no,
that's the
no, no,
one
no,
I would
no.
go with.
Oh no. Would you say Helldivers 2 probably would get this one?
No, it's going to be Wukong because it's the only one that's nominated for Game of the Year. That's what makes it an easy choice.
Mm, I could probably disagree on this one because of the fact that early on, so you've had so much hype earlier in the year that Helldivers was really popping it off, and now it's just like Sony kind of ruined it for them, but it's still a pretty good, solid game. Like, you're pretty much Star Troopers in the beginning of the year. I don't know about Black Myth, Black Myth Wukong that much because I know it's a game of the year, but if anything, it could come down to either Helldivers, Black Myth Wukong, or Stellar Blade. One of the three. I don't see Black Ops winning in this category. I don't really see
See, I would
Space.
like to know the statistics of how often does a game that's been nominated for Game of the Year not win a category that it's the only nomination in, because I think it's pretty rare. Um, yeah, I'd be pretty shocked if Black Myth Wukong did not win.
Let's see. The other one I wasn't too thrilled about, and this is a category I'm not too crazy about, was the action adventure one. The,
I voted for Astrobot. Oh yeah, this is a pretty weak category.
this one, yeah, I agree with you.
Star
Like,
Wars Outlaws should not be nominated. I'm sorry, that's a joke.
mm,
It's like they didn't have any good options because like even Zelda wasn't that great this year, and there's only
oh no,
5 options. Prince of Persia was surprisingly good,
I
but it
would
wouldn't
be
be good
fine
enough to
with that.
win.
Did Silent Hill 2 even make this cut? Of all,
That makes sense.
I mean, yeah, it makes sense, but
I know it's more of a horror game, but like there is action and there is exploring the town. I think it makes sense. And if it wasn't on this list, man, it'd be a pretty awful category, and
oh,
it'd be a
no
pretty
kidding.
easy win for Astrobot. So yeah, I voted for Astrobot, and I think it's gonna win. Again, it's the only one that's a Game of the Year nominee on the list. And it literally feels like the perfect pick for action adventure. It just like fits it to a T.
Somewhat, I wouldn't be surprised if Astrobot would win this category. I'd be kind of shocked if Silent Hill 2 would actually win this category. I would be shocked.
I hope it wins something.
It
It's
needs to
probably not the
win
category
something.
that
Well, I mean, yeah, you're right. Like that, ooh, it would be a rough one.
Okay, what's next?
All right, RPG's gotta be the hardest one out of like. That's gotta be
Uh, it's definitely pretty stacked, but I don't think it's the hardest
oh
one.
no, it's not gonna be hard, but like depending on who you would lean on to here, like you pretty have like a good trifecta of like Shadows of the Earth Tree, FF7 Rebirth, or Metaphor taking
I
this.
know, like those three. If I had to
I,
guess, it's probably going to be Elden Ring,
I, and that's what
just
it's
because
got.
of bias.
I wouldn't be surprised if I would solely take either, for my personal pick, either Metaphor or uh, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. But for my personal pick, but for who might win, I wouldn't be surprised if Elden Ring would steal this category.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I think Elden Ring is actually the weakest of the three because
It's a
it's not really as deep as the base game. and some people were disappointed by some of the lack of variety in the DLC. Um,
It's
it's
gonna
still
suck.
it's still a solid pick though.
Oh yeah, but it's gonna suck for these two though, for like Dragon's Dogma or Infinite Wealth to to be in this category. But
Yeah, I mean, as far as I know, I mean, there's quite a few people that say Dragon's Dogma is a pretty damn good RPG. And I
and
think
some
Infinite Wealth is just kind of like overshadowed by the rest.
the fact that how can I say this? That was it, Veilguard, I think, did not get in this list. Like it's surprising for an RPG like that not to be nominated in this list. That hurts.
I don't even call that game an RPG, to be honest. Final Fantasy VII or Metaphor ReFantazio to win, and they're both really, really strong picks. I voted for Final Fantasy VII, but the more I'm playing Metaphor, I
I
could
know
change
you.
that. Like,
It feels like it's gonna be your game of the year for
it
that.
could be, man. Like, I
Like,
thought Final Fantasy VII was super locked in, but Metaphor is just incredible.
and yet I haven't really gone too far in depth with it, and yet it looks pretty good so far.
Yeah, you need to finish the first dungeon, then you start traveling, and that's when the game really opens up. You get more archetypes, you get more followers, which is like the social links.
Hmm.
It's a really special game.
Let's see. I'll pull this one up because I know you're not much of it because
Is it fighting?
yes,
I know which one's gonna win that one. It should be Tekken 8.
yes, I highly agree with this one, and it should because who else like out of this category? I mean, not to give crap about this list, but I mean like I've heard a lot of good things about Sparking Zero,
Mm-hmm.
and then like people have been dying to hear see about. But how did the Marvel vs. Capcom collection even deserve a place on this list?
Again, I think it's they didn't have a lot of options, so
It, it just doesn't make a lot of sense here. And then this one should not be in the list. Is Multiverses? It should not be in this list.
can you think of any games that could have replaced those two?
I can only think of one, and it should be Under Night 2. Should be.
Hmm.
How in the world did it not get nominated, and yet Multiverses comes back? Like, I get it. It's a free to play game, but it won Fighting Game a couple years ago. It shouldn't have another chance. And that's so stupid. It's up for nomination again. I remember that.
Yeah, but it should definitely be Tekken 8 easily. Tekken 8 got a 90 on Metacritic. That's tied with Balatro.
I wouldn't agree more because, like, I had fun with Tekken 8, especially with the online. Like, I didn't have to worry about it. Like, sure, I'm just. An, but how to play that game is really easy anymore. Especially if you were playing Tekken 7. It almost feels similar to that. Almost. But I, I will agree. Tekken 8 should be the winner in this one. This is one I am going to be very conflicted with. Is best music.
Oh, oh. I thought we were going to family. Okay, music. Oh, score and music. Okay,
This,
okay. This
this,
one is a juggernaut.
mm-hmm.
Well, except Astrobot, that's probably my least favorite. But the others, unbelievable. They're probably my top four soundtracks of the year. Like
This will be
all
very hard because of
all four of those are phenomenal.
oh, no kidding. Like, Atlas always does a good job with their games, but it seems like this one really takes the cake, at least.
Yeah, I've
Compare.
been listening to Metaphor's soundtrack. I love it.
And then, like, Stellar Blades is also really good.
Mm-hmm. I've
And you
listened to that
obviously have,
soundtrack a few times too.
and then you obviously have to give props to Square in this one.
And that's the thing. Square Enix usually does very, very good in music categories. That's why I think Final Fantasy VII is probably going to win it. And it's
I'm
my pick
sure.
too. Like Silent Hill 2 has an excellent soundtrack. But their soundtrack is like well, the original was like 30. They expanded it to like 70 or whatever, but most of it's like ambient tracks.
Mm-hmm. I tr-
Rebirth, and even though like a lot of it is from the framework of the original game, they've got over 300 tracks, and a vast majority of the soundtrack are bangers. That has to have my vote.
like I wouldn't say I would agree with you, but it's just like my vote would probably be obviously Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Honestly, you cannot deny like the iconic music in that game so much. Like I and I'll agree with you. This should earn music in the music category. It should
It
earn it.
it wouldn't bum me out that much if it didn't win though. I would take
Like
any of them except Astrobot.
Astrobot, please not. Please not. That would be stupid.
And
Like,
I like the soundtrack, but I just don't like it near as much as the other four.
oh no. Like, I would be shocked if it was like Stellar Blade, if it would win, or Metaphor would win.
I think, well, mm, I mean, Stellar Blade would definitely be the most likely for action, but since I'm so sure Black Myth Wukong's going to win that, if Wukong didn't win that, I think Stellar Blade would have a pretty good chance.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
I don't know if Stellar Blade would win music over Final Fantasy or Metaphor. I'm not really sure what Silent Hill 2's chances are.
Oh, not very a lot. No.
Uh,
Like, my most likely pick is just gonna be FF7 Rebirth at, at this case,
yeah.
because there's probably one. Like, I'm trying to see which one. Best audio design is probably the one I don't understand the most out of
Okay.
this.
I didn't even know Rebirth was on that.
Oh yeah, Rebirth is definitely on this list.
I don't know enough about Black Ops 6, but it could get some votes. See, like I said, when these categories were dropped with the nominees, Silent Hill 2 1000% deserves it. But after hearing more information, I think it could absolutely get snubbed in this category by Hellblade 2.
That's what I'm in likelihood too. With Hellblade might take this category. Like I
I
don't
would
know
be
if
very sad.
even though I even have this game installed in my list or on my Xbox, I wouldn't be surprised. Like Hellblade did a lot of nominations on that list, and I think it took a few awards the last time, if I'm not mistaken correctly. Did it?
I don't know.
It's been a while, but I remember Hellblade getting a lot of nominations the last time.
I saw some posts of like previous winners. Like you remember how lackluster 2021 was for video games?
Oh no.
The winners were so bad. So bad.
I
I was like,
really hope this is
wow.
a repeat of 2021. I really hope this is not
No,
going to
no, 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 no. I think most of the nominees are pretty good.
like
And like I think a lot of categories are much more open than previous years. You know, like a lot of times it's either a 1 or 2 game race. But I can't think of any game that's going to sweep like 6 or 7 awards.
Oh no, this year isn't going to be a complete sweep like it was. What was it? 2022 or 2020
Like
with
even 2018, like you thought Red Dead 2 was going to sweep the awards.
oh
It,
no.
God of War Ragnarok won like 5 or 6 awards themselves. Like it was mostly just those two. But when I looked back at the winners, um, no, wait, I got the year wrong. That was God of War Ragnarok and Elden Ring. But when I looked at the winners, like even though Elden Ring won Game of the Year, the winners were very well chosen. Like exactly what you would think Elden Ring would win, and exactly what you would think God of War would win.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Like Elden Ring getting like RPG, art direction. So there were more than that, and God of War getting voice performance and action game, and well, it was either action or action adventure, and best soundtrack. Well
Oh.
deserved.
hmm hmm
Okay, what are we on now?
I'm just gonna go over the place. Like, there's one I don't agree with best narrative.
Oh, narrative. Cool, cool. Okay.
I don't
Oh,
agree
it's Hellblade,
with
isn't it?
no Rebirth. Final Fantasy.
I will partially agree with you. The narrative of Rebirth is the only thing that holds me back a little bit in that game.
Rebirth is just kind of like a little bit all over the place, especially at the
It's
end.
yeah, it's mostly the ending where I'm like, did you have to make it so damn complicated? And also all of the Zack sections. You could completely cut them out of the game and I'd be fine. But I also think Hellblade 2 should not be on this list because it actually doesn't have a fucking narrative.
Have you
There's like
even
no
seen?
story in that game.
I was gonna say I don't know. Like the last Hellblade, I barely even seen any story in the game very much.
You could also argue Silent Hill 2 should not be on here. It's an excellent narrative, but it's a narrative that came out 2 decades ago. At least Rebirth remixed their narrative.
Yeah, remix is probably the strongest word in this category.
I know. So that's why I think Metaphor deserves this one.
I
It
probably will agree with you here with metaphor because, like, most of these, like, I wouldn't even count Final Fantasy VII Rebirth in this list at all. I don't understand why people would think.
I think it deserved the nom. There were still some really, really good story moments.
Oh yeah, story moments, but like complete narrative, like of the complete plot. No.
I wouldn't have given it a 10 out of 10 if I thought the story sucked.
Oh no. Oh no. 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 Let's see.
But maybe Silent Hill 2 could be an upset for that one.
Yeah, that
But
could
just
be.
wait until you get further into Refantasio. I think you're gonna love it.
hmm
And I don't know enough about Infinite Wealth. I heard the ending kind of flubbed up a bit, but it's still a really great story game. So Yeah, I would say either Metaphor or Silent Hill 2, but Silent Hill 2 would surprise me.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and go in the art direction here for a
Oh
minute.
boy, this is a
Yeah,
really big one.
I,
Well, Neva's not going to win.
no. There's probably free contenders in this list, and how in the heck did Astrobot get into this list?
Astrobot has pretty good art direction. I just don't think it's going to win.
I don't think so either, because like I feel like this one could be a big steal for Elden Ring in this
Elden
case.
Ring has always had excellent art direction. I could absolutely see Elden Ring winning this one. But I voted
Because
for Metaphor.
I would agree with this one because like you always have like any Atlas game from like SMT, the Persona, they always have like good art direction.
Is beautiful.
Like especially got how it's all mostly, how can I say this, hand drawn. It looks really good.
I
Like
really need to get back into it. I think I stopped last Wednesday, and I've just been so busy with the weekend. I haven't had time to play it.
I'm just getting back. Like for some people, haven't realized this. I have been out of streaming business for like over 3 weeks, like just about 3 weeks.
You need a week where you play Metaphor like 3 or 4 times. It's worth it.
That's true. That's true.
Um, I will give some respect to Black Myth Wukong on this one. I'll play it eventually. By the way, Black Myth Wukong is the only game on the Game of the Year nominees that no one can have it physically yet because it releases probably right before the Game Awards.
Wait, seriously? They're supposed to
Yeah,
be.
it's sometime in early December, but I'm gonna wait for it to go on sale because I think it's gonna be too damage spongy for my liking. But I did see some gameplay and like a little bit of some bosses. I do think it has really strong art direction, so it wouldn't be that much of an upset if it won.
I would probably agree. Like, I want to see Metaphor take this category. Shadows of the Urchin will definitely steal this category.
I don't think this is as egregious. It it wouldn't be as bad if Elden Ring won this one because this isn't Game of the Year.
Oh no,
You know,
no.
it's kind of like Phantom Liberty, like winning an award last year. Like, I think Elden Ring deserved the nomination for art direction, so it
I
wouldn't bother me if it won.
I wouldn't be bothered as much, but like,
You're just annoyed with how many noms it got.
yes,
Fun
yes.
fact: Shadow of the Erdtree got 4 nominations, and Silent Hill 2 got 5. So you know, if Elden Ring did not make the cut, Silent Hill 2, 100% would have been nominated for Game of the Year.
Could easily replace it. It could have easily replaced it, but nope. Just nope.
All right, what's next? You want to do best performance?
I guess we could. Because I don't. There's not a lot of people like I can. I'm hearing people say like, "Oh, Luke Roberts could has a really good performance," and like I don't know how I could feel about it after playing the game. Because that's James.
Yeah.
I. It's just so monotone for James, though. I just don't know how I could see it being for best performance, though. Like, for
I'll
me,
tell you one thing though. Like I know I haven't played a few of these games for best performance. This is the weakest best performance I have seen from the Game Awards in a long time.
This I will agree with because there could be a lot more voice actors that are, uh, yeah, voice actors that could be on this list. Like, who is it? Um, the the person that does Akihiko in Persona 3 Reload, he could easily be on this list. He does such a good job in Persona
Honestly, all
3.
the voice acting in Metaphor was fantastic. Maybe they just, I don't know, didn't want to do anything with that game. But I know Aerith was like the emotional core of
Mm.
Rebirth, and that's who I voted for, mostly
Oh
just because
yeah,
of like
that's who I'm most likely is gonna.
it was mostly just process of elimination.
This I
Um,
would probably agree with you because it's like I know who she like. She is a streamer though too, so I
mhm,
wouldn't be so surprised if she be all excited for this award when
yeah,
she. So I
but but
wouldn't.
but you wouldn't what?
I just don't know if I could like some of these other nominations, like say like the the Humberly Gonzalez. Like I
Okay,
don't
yeah, that's another one. I was like, why did she get nominated? Every
exactly.
dialogue from Outlaws, I think sucks. I think it sounds way too awkward, way too nice, mercenary. Like, I don't like the dialogue
And
in
then
Star Wars Outlaws, especially from the main character.
and then didn't Melania Jurgens? I know she
Yeah,
got nom.
she won the first game.
So why should she be in this category again?
Well, I guess she did a damn good job again. I mean, did Christopher Judge get nominated for both God of War games?
Nope,
Probably.
I don't think so.
But anyway, like I was saying about Aerith, well, all of the voice acting in Rebirth is fantastic.
Oh yeah,
But I
and
think I would have preferred Barrett because
I'd
I
be.
think he did the best job in Rebirth.
I, and see, this is where I'm just not sure. Like what process of elimination for just like only Arif would get and not say like you said Barrett would be highly recommended on this nomination list. Or like I said, like I really think, and we both agree, Akihiko or Sayu does a really good damn performance in Persona 3 Reload. He does a really good job. And how the hell did he not get a nomination in this list? And yet Persona 3 doesn't even have a damn nomination in this list.
That doesn't really surprise me. The one thing I think it could have been nominated for was music.
Oh yeah, music
But
would
for people,
eat.
but for people saying Persona 3 Reload was snubbed, I don't agree, to be honest.
What I don't agree, or like it could at least be in the RPG at least, though too.
No, no, they already got Metaphor.
Well, that's true.
That's good enough for RPG at least.
Let's see. You said you were wanting to do family, or you wanted to talk about?
No, I just thought we were going in that direction. Uh, I think Family was easy because of Astrobot. There's all the independent and indie games, and I voted
That's where
Balatro
I'm
for
so
all of them.
confused with these. Like I've heard some of these like Adam LL and then
Yeah,
like or at least Lorelei and Laser Eyes. Yes, I've heard some things, but not a lot. I did hear.
yeah.
Novella
So,
or UFO 50. I haven't heard
so
much of those.
Animal Well was very popular, so I feel like it possibly could win one of the indie categories, but I think Bellatra could just sweep the indie
Oh, that's
awards.
where the fear. I'm just like, I wouldn't be surprised if Belatra would take this category in general.
Like,
Like,
not just that one, all the indie ones, and mobile game, because it got nominated for mobile game. Like, what else are you going to pick for mobile game?
well, let me see the mobile one real quick, because I might have a difference on this one. Where was the best mobile? Yes.
Actually,
Uh,
Bellatra was so popular on mobile, it dethroned Minecraft.
oh wow.
Yeah.
That
So you
that's
really think
because
it's not going to win?
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Belatra would be in this, but there are some heavy duty like Honkai and what is it? Genshin players that are just like, what? Why not Triple Z? I wouldn't be surprised if it did get it, but at the exact same time, just like, I don't know if it could win this category in a sense. Or Withering Waves. I've heard some people talk about it, but I don't think it will win that one either as much.
Okay, I skipped best ongoing.
Yeah, ongoing and then like community support or just like you could do either one of the two. Like, kind of surprised Destiny's not in here, but
Yeah, I
like,
don't care too much about ongoing, especially because, multiplayer games. Final Fantasy 14 probably gonna win. I voted for Helldivers just for just to give it something.
I know multiplayer. I wouldn't be surprised if hell that could actually be a topic here for this one. Would be the multiplayer. Where is it? I just skip it. Multiplayer, I wouldn't be. There's. I'm kind of surprised with this list. How did Tekken 8 get in this list? That is a complete 180 in this list. For a fighting game to be the best multiplayer, that surprises me. I don't want to give it to Black Ops 6 because I really don't want it to win.
I honestly have no clue who's gonna win this category, except for Super Mario. That's not winning.
Oh no, not Super Mario. I'm sorry, the Super Mario Party fans. No, you're not winning this category because
So I hear it's not even the best Mario Party of the last few.
oh no.
So
I want to say it could be like I hate saying this. I hate seeing Black Ops 6 taking this multiplayer one, but at the exact same time, I really want to give it to Helldivers 2. I, I really want to see that one win. This one, in my opinion. I mean, it's a rough choice between the four. Like, I don't know much of like Space Marine, and then Tekken 8's surprisingly got a good multiplayer.
well, since this is being voted mostly by critics, yeah, I think either Helldivers or Warhammer, maybe.
Well, now explain. Yeah, I don't know about if Warhammer would win this one.
I think it could.
I'd be surprised if it did, because I think that's the only nomination other than action it's got. I'd be very surprised if it did. Let's see. we could skip the best sports. We could skip that one because nobody can give a damn about sports in this conversation here.
well, adaptation and anticipated game are pretty easy.
Yeah, like
Well, adaptation's actually probably a 2 race.
yeah, adaptation. I wouldn't be surprised if Fallout would win.
I think Fallout would win, but it could go to Arcane.
I really hope it wouldn't go to Arcane again because I remember seeing it win last time when it got nominated. I
Well,
was
it's
just
not.
like, that's the toss up too, but I don't see Yakuza or Tomb Raider winning this. I really don't see Knuckles winning this. Like you said, just two-legged horse race here,
Yep.
being being Fallout or Arcane, and then we definitely did say about most anticipated, and that's probably just going to be a one-horse show.
Yeah, everyone knows who's gonna win that. I voted for Ghosts of Yote because it's really the only one I'm looking forward to at this point. I'm waiting until we get a really good trailer for GTA 6 before I get excited.
That and that's probably going to be my two-legged race would be either GTA 6 or Monster Hunter Wilds. Either one of those two, because you know those two are really
Mm,
good two popular
I
games.
think, yeah, I think those are the two most popular, but it'd be
Yeah,
Snowball's chance in hell GTA 6 wouldn't win.
agreed, because we've been, like you said, when we were talking about this offline, is that we've waited over a decade for a new GTA 6 game. And how many times has GTA 5 has been ported over? Twice in 2 generations. In between.
I think we only have 2 left now. Game Direction and Game of the Year,
Uh,
which the nominees are the same for both.
yeah, game direction. I don't. Oh boy, I don't know about game direction. Oh, whoa, whoa.
It's kind of a weird sounding category. Like I kind of judge these two categories differently, but I think whatever wins Game of the Year is gonna win Game Direction. I don't know if that's always the case or not. I would
Oh, I
think
don't
it
think
is.
it's the case.
I think of like what game is like the way it's built is the best. I don't know. That's just how I would describe it.
I don't know about that because it's like it could go towards Final Fantasy VII Rebirth or Metaphor in this race. Like I
Yeah,
don't.
because of like the way the games are are built or laid out, or like God, this is hard to describe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
those are
is.
the two that I think are the best as how their game is built because Rebirth has a very impressive open world and ReFantasio with um the way the archetype system is and the way you deal with time and how you travel around is very unique. I gave
I
it to Metaphor.
I probably would give it the Metaphor too because it's like it's just so robust compared to like Rebirth because there is a complaint about Rebirth in this. I feel like a little bit. We both echoed this. Was like there's so much stuff in the overworld that could be too overwhelming to most players. And then the side quests, ugh, some side quests aren't the best in
I
Rebirth.
disagree with both of those statements. Just because there's a lot of stuff to do doesn't mean it's badly made, like it's a Far Cry game where there's a million things on the map.
Well, I would say some of the side quests, in quotations here, not all of them.
Ironically, the worst side quests are in Gongaga. There's like 3 of them that kinda suck. But I like most of them because they're always connected to a party member and they help you work towards unlocking more skills.
Which is true in that regard, but like
Yeah, there's some that are
I
just
almost
kind
had
of
like almost an overwhelming experience at some point, but at during my gameplay, I just got used to it though too.
I
But
think Rebirth is an excellent open world game, but I think Metaphor, everything is made perfectly for you to
like easily understand what's
no,
going
not
on.
understand. Like I lost my train of thought.
Like how the story goes from, or well, that's narrative, not direction, game direction. But I could see, but I really just don't want to see like the top three. I just don't know. I would see, especially like Balatro being a roguelike. Does it really have much of a
That's
story though? For Balatro, that's something that's just on.
no. I think game direction completely ignores narrative completely. I think it's just the way the game is built, like progression, game
Oh,
mechanics.
oh yeah. I could
Like it
say
has mechanics. It has very good mechanics. And that's where I think Shadow of the Erdtree is not a great nomination for
oh
this
no,
one.
no,
Because I
because
don't think the Shadow Tree fragments are a very good game mechanic.
no, because it's just like here it helps you deal better damage in that section, but it doesn't really help you a lot when
And
you
of and and of course it's just borrowing the mechanics from the original base game.
exactly.
There
Because
isn't that much that's different.
the only thing that feels like it would just be different would just be the weapons, and that's it. Like I know there's not a lot of weapons on the DLC, so but oh good lord, if Shadow of the Erdtree takes this category, I would not be happy in this one. Like
Yeah, this one would bother me a bit if Elden Ring won it.
I
Well,
probably
if Elden Ring won this, I would absolutely be predicting that Elden Ring would win Game of the Year
because
because
that's
like
the
exact same nominees.
exactly and like the bottom three pretty much have a good chance of winning Game of the Year. I obviously would say my Game of the Year would probably be Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
All right, we'll talk a little extensively about all 6 games. Um, Now, Astrobot definitely has a chance to win Game of the Year, even though it just doesn't feel as strong to me as the bottom 3, like you said. Like, it's got the Metacritic score. It's tied with Elden Ring and Metaphor at 94. Like, it definitely feels like a Game of the Year winner, but it just doesn't feel like it's going to win it this year. with its
No.
competition.
Balatro, I just don't know if I can feel like it could. Like, you've had more experience with Balatro than I have.
I think Balatro would be an awesome pick for Game of the Year, even though it would
Especially if it's
surprise
since it's
me.
an indie. We haven't had many
Yeah,
games
yeah,
that.
it's an indie storm. Like, I absolutely do not like people who say, "Oh, oh, the card game got a nomination over this game," like Stellar Blade or what were the other games people were saying
Silent Hill
received?
2 or
Yeah, yeah. It's like, oh yeah, Silent Hill 2 is a big one. People were saying, oh, the card game got the nomination, and it's like, I think Balatro is a great nomination. Like, there are others that I have a lot more of a problem with than Balatro. So, like, I think it'd be pretty awesome if Balatro won Game of the Year.
I could probably see
But
what your
I think
explanation.
it's probably the least likely to win.
Yeah, exactly. Like, here's the thing I'll say of this one, and I can feel a lot of people talk about this one, and is Black Myth Wukong getting a nomination instead of like Stellar Blade?
Barely anyone argued the nomination for Black Myth Wukong, but I gotta be honest, that's the one I like the least. Like, it got like an 81 on Metacritic. I know Metacritic isn't the be all end all of everything, but
The
like,
lowest rated
I
Metacritic
think
score getting a nomination?
Silent Hill 2 should have replaced Black Myth Wukong if you had to keep Shadow of the Ur Tree in the nominations. I know I
That
haven't played it yet, but it just doesn't feel like a Game of the Year nomination. Uh, it
nation.
deserved a nomination.
That probably, I would probably agree. Same thing here. Even though I have it installed right now, I could easily play it and say, "This could this be a good game of the year nominee?" I don't know. And being that it's the lowest Metacritic, like you said, it could easily be replaced. Like, I would easily replace this with Stellar Blade, honestly. Like,
I'm gonna be
and you
honest, I
pro
do not think Stellar Blade deserved a Game of the Year nomination. The story's a bit of a mess, the voice acting is bad, and the side missions are atrocious.
or at least like I would, or actually no. Here's one I probably would have been surprised with if it did get a nomination. Would have been Helldivers 2. I would have been surprised.
Some people thought it deserved one. I don't know. Like,
To put
it
to
was very, very good at what it did, but it just does one thing, really, over and over.
and that somewhat true, somewhat true. Like, it did get a lot of buzz at the beginning of the year. Surprisingly, not getting a nomination. Like, not a lot of nominations for it. Like, I
That's
think it
because
would.
excellent co-op games that aren't that don't have microtransactions shoved down your throat are very rare.
But this is a free regular race for just bottom three, at least. This is going to be a very hard one this year for Game of the Year. Like,
Okay, so do you think Shadow of the Erdtree deserved to be nominated?
definitely not. Definitely not. Like, like I said, there's not a lot of content on the. Uh-oh. I need to get back into orbit. It just kicked me out of the game since
Well,
we're
for a
just
DLC, it did have quite a lot of content. You can
like a
get like 40 to
new
60 hours out of it.
areas to explore, yes, but then people have made this argument. It's like, why did Phantom Liberty deserve a nomination for Game of the Year.
I know, I'm salty about that. It's like I was looking at last year's nominees and I was like, I would definitely put Phantom Liberty up there over a couple of those games. And I
Like,
didn't even get nominated that much last year. I think, well, did it eat? I think it might have gotten a nomination for best performance.
but but
But
did
I
it
think
get?
it was the Cyberpunk base game that got nominated for best ongoing game, and it
Yeah.
won, but not Phantom Liberty itself.
Mm-hmm. Which I could be a little bit salty there about it because it really improved a lot compared.
And like the time was awful. It was right before the nominations, so it looks very suspicious, and it makes it look like an excuse to put it in the game of the year. Like I know it was very critically applauded. It got a 94 on Metacritic. Um, but yeah, I don't think it should be there. And it's not because like it's it messed up some balancing or like there's a lack of some boss fights or whatever. No, it's because it's a DLC and it's because you have to own the base game and you have to play like 80 to 100 hours to have a character strong enough to beat the boss to even access the DLC, and you
No
have to
cat.
pay $40 on top of that.
Exactly, because
And
of
it
the fact.
uses the exact same mechanics as the base game.
And you're already. Let's be honest here. We already know Elden Ring got Game of the Year nomination, and it
Yeah,
won.
it feels like an excuse to give Elden Ring a
Another
second
win.
win.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
it's even more suspicious because we know that Jeff Keighley is buddy buddy with Miyazaki.
If he would give that nomination, oh, the internet would riot. The internet would truly riot if.
Yeah, you can make the argument, oh yeah, it's better than a lot of other games this year. Like, oh yeah, if it was sold as it's as a base game, no one would complain or it has the content of a base game. Well, here's the thing. It's not a standalone game.
Nope.
So you can't make that argument.
Ed, if you even said it sold separately, and we've talked about this online, Dustin, say what you just said to me not too long ago. That for a physical for Shadows of the Erdtree. Tell me what you just said. That it was just
Uh, what part?
that it was just only a digital code, not a disc.
Yeah, yeah. And and if it was standalone, it would have to be at the same price because I heard people say that if they paid $70 for it, they would have been massively disappointed.
And I know there's like old or what is it? Bundles for more than that with Elden Ring with it. That's kind of stupid, in my opinion.
They're selling the base game for $20 this Black Friday, and I saw
Oh,
one deal for like the Shadow of the Erdtree with the base game for $50. That's a good deal.
so why would you even consider that as a nominee when you have like two really good like if Shadows of the Earth didn't win, my vote would definitely be for Rebirth. It probably most likely would win. If it didn't, maybe Metaphor would have been my wild card. If it didn't.
I still have my vote for Rebirth for now. I still think it's a pretty excellent game. I think it's a fantastic open world, minus a little bit of Gungaga. Um, the combat, the Final Fantasy VII Remake games combat, which got even better in Rebirth, that is one of my favorite combat systems of
Mm-hmm.
all time. It is incredible, and like even when you're doing those hard as hell combat simulators, you start playing the game a completely different way, and you see exactly how deep the combat gets. It's incredible. Like, even the weakest character can be completely overpowered. If you know how to use these characters, you can use one character to solo Bahamut or whatever, or Sephiroth. Like, it's unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
It looks fantastic. The voice acting is excellent. It's got tons of charm. It has like excellent cinematics.
If that game didn't deserve a game of the year, I don't know what.
Well, it's like it 100% deserved the nomination.
Oh yeah, it does. Like if it like if Shadows of the Tree steals this victory from Rebirth, yeah, I would riot. I wouldn't be mad if it was Metaphor. I wouldn't be mad with that, honestly.
I honestly think Metaphor would be the perfect pick, even over Rebirth. It's because, well, for one, back in 2017, Persona 5 was in the running for Game of the Year, and it lost to
Okay.
Breath of the Wild.
Mm-hmm.
Both games had a 97 on Metacritic.
And
So Persona 5 would have won if Breath of the Wild didn't steal it.
mm-hmm.
And this is the best game that Atlas has made since Persona 5. Like,
That,
in my opinion, I don't think that's an exaggeration.
oh no.
Like I mean, I know Royal was better because they added more content and whatever. But let's just ignore that.
Yeah, because it didn't
like
even get
I think the
nomination for that.
award, yeah, I think the awards ignored it too. Like, it's just a re-release that's expanded. But like, they absolutely cooked with Metaphor. Like, you heard about the project Refantasy years ago. All you see is a red-haired elf girl, and
Yep.
you don't hear about it for years and years and years. And then they come out with this, and you start seeing more at it. And then I start hearing, oh, it's got a calendar system. Oh, it's got social links. Oh, it's got social stats. And it's as big as Persona 5. I don't think it's quite as big as Persona 5. We'll see. I played 35 hours, and you do and move and experience things constantly in that game. You are constantly doing something. You're not just wasting time eating a burger for stats, or just like kind of moving through days slowly. Like, you'll have some time when you're doing nothing but like social link type things. But I'm constantly like planning out like oh, you go to these dungeons to fight monsters, and every single one you do, you're completely playing them differently because you need different loadouts for your archetypes, or you're going to find enemies that you've never seen before. And doing those bounties. Bounties in other games, you kind of don't think about it. But in this game, you're also increasing your social stats, and there's some things you can only do while you're traveling in the runner. Or there's only some people you can talk to while you're traveling in the runner. And it's something that it's encouraged to do so because you're leveling up more for like the dungeon and then the dungeon boss.
Oh yeah.
Like, that's the progression. Like, you could ignore some of it, but you're also getting money and stats, so why would you? You don't even think about it, you're planning how you're doing your calendar, and at the same time, you're leveling up your archetypes and doing new enemies and whatever. And the archetype system, I love it. It's the best combat system I think Atlas has had since, an SMT game. And it has SMT like press turn system. But like all the archetypes have these different specialities, and you have to like tailor them to your other party members, and every party member can use any archetype. And then when you learn the archetypes, you level them up and learn their skills. You can use those skills
On different
and
archetypes.
yeah.
I
So like
remember seeing
if
that.
you're like a one-trick pony with some archetype to where you're completely weak, you use a skill from something else. Now you can use that to punish enemies. And let me tell you, on normal, the bosses, whether in dungeons or story dungeons, I'm talking about, and also the ones for the bounties, they do not go easy on you. So you have to really think of how you want to use your skills, your stats,
And you're let
your
out.
items. Like,
Pretty
it's a
much
very
thought provoking.
decently challenging normal difficulty. So it feels rewarding. It's not like Persona 5 Royal where you kind of start daydreaming with how easy the enemies are on normal
Oh
until you reach
no.
a boss. Like, it's so rewarding that you keep leveling up your archetypes, and then those evolve into better ones.
Oh yeah.
And that's connected to your follower ranks as well.
A little
Like
side note there. I remember seeing one of the archetypes as Soul Hacker. I'm like, what the? That's a weird one to reference there.
really, I don't know that one.
You have to go back to your library, or go back to the library. I think it's on on the top row. You have to go almost mid. I think it's like next to the globe or whatnot. It should be like in the middle section. It'll say one of the archetypes is Soul Hacker.
Crazy.
I'm like, what?
But but like you can just like get really comfortable with any archetype you want and level that up and specialize it for whatever character.
Oh
And
yeah.
there's like some that I unlock, I'm like, oh, this one doesn't even look very fun, or oh, this looks weak, or whatever. But then it's like really good against specific enemies. The merchant, that's all about you literally throw your money away and it's used as an almighty attack. And I thought it was gonna suck. But then for some enemies, it works really damn well.
I think I've heard of the merchant before. I'm just like, what? How does this even work?
And the story is really good. The writing is excellent. Like, it's the best writing I've seen Atlas do in a long time. And this isn't even their normal Persona studio. This is Studio Zero. Like, because P Studio, I think, did the Persona 3 remake. I don't even know who did SMT 5. But, like, this was the studio that did Catherine. And the writing is fantastic. I'm so engaged with the entire pursuit of becoming the king and the conflict between the other candidates. Like, I'm constantly engaged with the story, not only the story, but the writing with all of the main characters, too. And very little of the story is predictable at all, and there's not very much of the annoying anime-type stereotypes,
Yep.
with, like, annoying writing or whatever. Like, a
Mm-hmm.
lot of the writing feels very grounded.
And see, this is where I would say, like, if Shadow the Archery did not have a place in the running, it would be a two-legged race between Metaphor and FF7 Rebirth.
I just think Studio Zero and Atlas just absolutely nailed it. I can't believe it's so good. Like, I can't believe how much I've experienced in 30 hours compared to like
30 hours
80
of
hours in a Persona game.
yeah.
Like, like I know Persona games are great, but Metaphor is just constantly engaging. You're
Mhm.
constantly doing something. But I think Metaphor ReFantazio deserves Game of the Year. I honestly do. For what Atlas and Studio Zero have done, if they're not going to win this year, who knows if they'll ever win it?
And that's kind of like the weird toss up, but like I said, like I just don't like, and I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Between these three, I don't know who would win. Like, if game direction would go to Final Fantasy, then obviously Game of the Year would go to Metaphor, if that would be the case. Or if Metaphor wins game direction, that could be easily acceptable.
I just think whoever wins game direction is going to win Game of the Year.
I just like some of these can't categories. I feel ugh. Like
I
you
think a
probably
lot
would.
of the nominees are much stronger than previous
So,
years. There's a few snubs, and there's a few like why the hell were they even nominated? But most of them I think fit. Now how the winners are going to go, it's probably not going to go as smooth.
oh no,
Uh, sh- eh, like I'm going to watch it, but I'm probably going to complain a lot.
oh
Not
yeah,
just because of the winners, but there's so many
nominations that
stupid no, there's so many stupid things that happen in every game of the year game awards. It's going to be frustrating every time, like when they rush right through best RPG in like 10 seconds,
yep, they'll
when there's
probably
way
do
too many
this.
ads, when there's celebrity guests who don't give a shit about games, too much pandering to Hollywood and the movie industry.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff himself can be really freaking annoying. If there's anything that disrupts his show, he's going to get real ticked off because he has no chill at all.
And
He
then
acts
so,
very two-faced to me.
and then some game like game announcements are just like what? Why are
Oh
they,
yeah, yeah. There's
like
going to be some really shit ones.
or the same deal here that you have like too many like you said, too many sponsored ads that will just pop up during the Game Awards. Ugh. I don't know how many times that we've had to see like what was it, Magic the Gathering or whatnot the one year. Oh, that was super annoying. To see that as a sponsor. Ugh. No, thank you. That was just terrible. That was just ugh.
Oh,
Like
by the way, I think I voted Metaphor to win like 4 categories. I think. So if I choose them for Game of the Year, that's 5. That would be incredible. Because I also haven't picked Black Myth. Wait. Oh yeah, I didn't pick Black Myth Wukong for action because I picked Stellar Blade. But I didn't pick Black Myth Wukong for any categories, and I didn't pick Elden Ring for any categories. That's definitely not going to happen. But
oh no. Like yeah.
I
I
think I had
probably
Final Fantasy in like 3.
like I
Still,
wouldn't be surprised if there could be like a good nomination for like Final Fantasy or their metaphor to take some of these votes. But at the exact same time, I just really hope the critics are just like, wait, what? Why do we have Shadow of the Earth Tree here? next year, I really hope Jeff considers this as a category. And
Yeah,
this
just do a best expansion category.
best expansion or best DLC, they need to do that. That's so stupid. Like, like, what is it? Half of these nominees have or categories have Shadow of the Erdtree in its category. It should never. Mm-mm.
They won't do it because then they'll be hypocrites.
Because
So, okay. With all the games we have here. See, I'm very worried Silent Hill 2 is going to get nothing. Because it got nominated in 5 categories, and I only picked one for it to win. And even
yeah,
that, Hellblade could steal it from them.
mm-hmm. Silent Hill 2 probably might not get anything this year. I probably would agree with that if that was the case. Like, if the only thing if it would win is best action adventure, which is probably the one that you probably chose it out of, more than likely.
No, I chose Astrobot. I'd be really surprised if Astrobot did not win that.
I just Konami would have just like a big heyday just saying that we really need to step the game up for next year. Like like if one thing like okay, one thing I would say, there's one, and I've said this to you in private, offline. Most anticipated game, most anticipated game for next year, I would not have Death Stranding 2. I would not have that, in my opinion. And
What
you
would you
know
have in
why?
its place?
Metal Gear, Metal Gear. We haven't
Oh
heard
yeah,
it. Why in the world did Death Stranding 2 have a nomination, but not Metal Gear Delta?
because Kojima's his buddy.
And they probably hate the idea that Metal Gear was his little
Oh yeah, that's
baby.
another point. Could also be why they didn't nominate Silent Hill 2, because he's still pissed at Kojima. Konami.
I don't know, because like I would have highly anticipated Metal Gear Delta at least, in my opinion, because that's still one of the games I would look forward to. Like I didn't really. I know you said you didn't really care for Death Stranding that much,
It's like an 8 out of 10, but I also wasn't very good at it.
but does it deserve anticipated? I don't think so. Like,
I'm on the fence about that. Oh, one more thing. I wanted to talk a bit more about Stellar Blade. Like, even though I give it a lot of negativity, mostly for its
like
writing, voice acting characters, what it does well, it does extremely well. It's definitely one of the best action games of the year. It has
that.
it has a great soundtrack. I think it looks really well. I really like the art direction of it. And I really like the post-launch support.
Oh
One
yeah,
of the
like
best games, period, of post-launch support.
especially when you have like the near collab right now,
Even
which
before the near collab, like do the near content because I can't do it at the end of the game.
mm-hmm, Because, well, I'll agree with you there. Like, it has really good action. It has really good music. Ooh, visually looks really good.
I really like the customization.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That part I'll agree with there too. It it's just like the story could be worked on a little bit more. I've said this when we were talking about it afterwards. It was like the story could really use a little bit of more work, and then the voice acting you could get, do a little better. What I get it, but at the exact same time you could not make it so monotone. At the
Yeah,
exact same,
I think the writing screwed the voice acting mostly.
like I would say if Stellar Blade will get snubbed in some categories because of like some games are like we talked about or during this little hot take here is that Stellar Blade has probably got
Music, but it's got a very good chance of losing both.
more than likely, and I'm not gonna really talk about it as much because I don't really care content of the or content creator of the year, but I wouldn't be surprised of a certain little. They did it last year, and I wouldn't be surprised this because I think Iron Mouse won last year, and I wouldn't be surprised if Picaro would win this year. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the
I never
case.
care about that category.
I could care less about it as much too, but I'm just like when I saw the category list, I'm kind of surprised Picaro would be in this list, and some people are like, Queso would win this one. I'm like, really? I've even watched videos of it. He said he didn't really want it to be nominated, honestly. Weirdly enough. He said he didn't really want to deal with the drama. Or Twitter drama online, honestly.
That might
But
make him the best person to choose then. Someone who doesn't want the drama.
I guess so, but at the exact same time, I'm just like, there's not a lot of these nominees I really know of other than Picora as much, just weirdly enough. It surprised me because she is really talented. I will give her props for that. Even though she's Japanese, I'll give her props for that. Being with a talent agency, she is really talented. So
Oh,
that's
oh, oh, oh. They
yes.
may have given you an option to buy Dino Crisis for $10 now.
Huh?
I just saw it on Twitter.
Me? That better be true. I've had Dino Crisis for a very long time on my watch list. No, it's free! Yes! Gimme! Gimme, 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 gimme. I am. Yes! Screw you, Sony. Screw you. I completely forgot that little exploit, though, too. But that's funny that you say that. I've been wanting to do Dino Crisis for years, and now I have that chance. That is hilarious.
56.
Oh man, that's too funny. But um, maybe we could talk about, could there be any game announcements that could happen other than maybe an obvious one? To at least, like, what do you think would show up at least? Like,
Oh, I can't even remember what could possibly be announced.
like, there are some games that we could, I would hope, would see some more. Like, obviously, we need to see some more if they really want to stick with the 2025 release. It's this is most likely gonna be anticipated game. We need to see another trailer, but highly Take Two is not gonna do it. Like I said privately, they'll do whatever they want with GTA 6. We need to see at least one more trailer.
Rockstar doesn't use events.
I
They
know they
just
don't.
release shit when they feel like it.
I just and then maybe some more Metal Gear Delta. Maybe I would hope to see a little bit more, like maybe a little bit more gameplay. Or did
At
we?
this point, if they're going to show us anything else from Delta, we need a release date. Date. Not window, date.
That's true.
We've
That
seen plenty of cutscenes and gameplay and trailers and whatever.
just confirm every
That would
release
be
date.
kind of awkward, though. You know, like you said, the whole not being on the most anticipated game, and the fact that Jeff might still be pissed with Konami only to show a release date on his show. I don't know. We'll see.
uh, it would be nice. Let's see.
Oh, I just remembered. You're still off work, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, I was like, oh shit, it's past 11:30.
I don't care honestly because I am
No, I don't either. I'll go to like 1 or 2.
I don't care honestly because for those who don't understand why I'm up a little bit later, is like I'm on vacation. So good for me. Because I don't care at this rate. For those who probably wondering, oh, you're supposed to go to bed around either 11:30 or close to midnight. Well, screw you. Work. I don't care since I'm on vacation. I'm trying to think of another one. Do you think we would have anything from Microsoft or anything like maybe like possible Fable remake release date or window? I know that's highly anticipated for Microsoft fans.
That'd be a very good idea. And at this point, they need to show like concrete gameplay. They've shown trailers for a while. But what's very interesting about Fable is all those trailers that look very impressive, they've all been in engine. They have not been CG trailers. So some people that have seen the game say it looks very impressive. They need to show it off for us. See what we can do, because like even me, like I don't know that much about the original Fable games, and if Xbox is going to do their whole multi-platform thing, I'm interested to see what you could do in a new Fable game.
Hmm? That would be something that needed to be shown off because obviously Microsoft needs to have something like it as it could show right now. It still doesn't prove that it sells games right now. It'll sell ports or multi-platform games on the system, but it does not show that as an in-house studio, it has not gotten games yet. Like, especially if it still sticks right now, I want to see some more Doom to Dark Ages. I
Oh,
want to see,
yes, that would be awesome.
I want to see some more of that. If that would still be a 2025 release, that would be sick. Like, what else can you do with that game? And maybe a release window, maybe. Sony, if there's one thing from Sony right now, I wouldn't be surprised if they could slide in their another brand name. Like, I highly doubt we're gonna see anything like Wolverine or anything like that right now. I highly doubt it. I would like to, but I highly doubt it.
I know they had that big leak, but they got to show us something eventually.
Like,
Sony usually does show something in the Game Awards. I mean, they shadow dropped Valhalla DLC.
oh yeah, that's true. I just don't know what to expect though. Like, and that's the problem with it. I just don't know what to feel like. Whatever studio's gonna be, we can't expect Naughty Dog because they're skipping this generation. Anthony would like to see Santa Monica be there to release something from the God of War franchise. That's what he would say, at least.
Well, there was a leak that Christopher Judge was leaking future God of War games, but he disproved that.
Mm-mm. I. Mm, who else would be in the running besides? Could we see another Ghost of Yotai game, maybe? Or, or at least another trailer before the end of the year?
Probably not. Damn it!
No
I'm still
Millennium.
missing one of my flasks. I'm trying to kill this tree spirit in the lake of rot.
Mm. Is it?
But I don't have any way to stop the rot except keep healing myself. So if I get hit by the tree spirit,
Oh, I think I know which one you're doing. Are you?
kind of screwed.
I think I know which one you're doing. Is it the one for? Oh, who is it? Not Melania.
No, 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 it's not Millicent.
Or it's not
It's
the
at the
one from
lake of
Minnesota.
rot.
It's surrounded by rot, though.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but that's not it.
Because I just did that quest line not too long ago, and that
Oh,
thing
you finally killed that thing?
that sucked.
I know, that arena's awful. It's terrible. It's very easy to just fall off, and then you got the rot.
And then you could get easily grappled from that stupid thing too.
Yeah,
Ooh,
it's like
it's a
worst
punish.
case scenario.
Oh, I can't even. imagine how many times I've tried to kill that thing, and that's
Yeah, it's best to like cheese it in whatever way you can, but even that's not very easy.
mm-mm. Heck, I even cheesed that Millicent's sisters killed me, but Millicent killed the last one, and I still got it.
Yep, that
Apparently,
would work.
it's like did all the damage, and she managed to get the final blow. I'm like, okay, that's fine. I don't mind. But I think one thing from Nintendo right now, and this is also in most anticipated games, Metroid Prime 4. Have us a
Oh
release.
yeah,
Metroid, give us a release window, or at least a release date. Like,
I kind of figured people would forget about that after Dread.
no. No.
Dread's probably gonna be better than whatever it is. Or, well, probably isn't gonna beat Dread.
Probably not, but we've been waiting for that stupid game for years.
Okay, I better get the Scarlet Rot spell. This is too ridiculous. I'll be back in a sec.
Oh, God. For those folks out there, if you just want to voice your opinions in the comments down below, like what you think of the Game Awards this year, because this is just pretty much just us talking about it. Like, I have some, like, as you can tell, there are some big nitpicks I just, like, wasn't too thrilled about with this list, so, but for now, I think I'm gonna go ahead and call it right here, because I just wanted this little discussion to be live and just like have our voices across about it, because we know we have had different opinions about it, but we both agree there's some little bit funky this year with these nominees this year, so yeah. But for now, I'm gonna go ahead and call it a night, or at least call this stream for a night, and I think I'll catch you guys tomorrow at 7:30. Think we'll do. I'm still up in the air. I'll have to talk with them about it, but we'll have an office meeting tomorrow, so I'll see you guys then. So, see ya.